Hello, Martine here, digital business builder, and I wanted to shoot this quick training for you to calculate your ad spend. So I'm getting a bunch of my clients and people reaching out to me saying, I know that you deliver ads at a really low cost. How do we know how much to spend? And so what I know to be true is that the platforms are definitely becoming more pay to play environments. And so when you're looking at what to spend, it's really important to understand what are the objectives that you want to achieve. So I'm just going to share my screen here for a minute and it should work out nicely, right? I'm such a visual human being, so let's do that. Okay, perfect. So in this space, I think what we need to know is that marketing is really simple, and such is life, right? Life is simple, marketing is simple, but we make it complex. And what you also need to know is that while we believe that Facebook is a social media house, it's actually a data house. And when you understand how to read the data, you're in a really great position to be able to navigate how much to spend, what it's going to look like, what you need to do. The first thing is to be able to get enough information for you to be able to make some really great decisions. And so that comes from understanding just a few things. You can drive campaigns for less than, $5 or $1 a day, right? But what kind of campaigns would you be running? Do you know you can reach a lot of people for like $1, but is that really the objective that you're looking for? And so all marketing is pretty much the same. It doesn't matter if we're traditional marketers that have come through the ages, like my mother is a traditional marketer, or if we're like digital marketers that are evolving all the time. The foundations for marketing is pretty simple. It's awareness. What are we doing to help someone find out about us? It's consideration. What's the next step to get them to consider or think about working with us? And then conversions, like how do we help someone into a buying process? All sales funnels, all marketing funnels are the same thing: awareness, consideration, conversion. The problem is today there's a lot of information out there, so people need a lot more consideration before they go into conversion. And that's essentially the capability of your funnel, right? So the same is true with Facebook. Facebook have campaigns that are all about building awareness. They also have campaigns, or it also has campaigns that's about building consideration, and also has campaigns that are all about conversions. And so the cost of, say, awareness, getting someone to know who you are, is very different to, say, the cost of someone to purchase your product. That makes sense, right? Because if we just want more people to know who you are, that's really easy to get your message out into the world. But if you want someone to give you X amount of dollars, pingers, whatever the things are, then it's a very different buying conversation and a very different process for those people. So what exactly does that look like? Well, Facebook has a bunch of different objectives. And when you're starting out, what you really want to do is understand what each one looks like. It almost has its own language, but just start with the basics, right? Conversions are when you take an action that would fire an event that is tracked. At the moment, everyone's talking about tracking, and Apple are doing some things with iOS updates and asking people if they want to be tracked. Well, the truth is that Facebook and the marketing houses have been looking at behaviors for a long time. We as consumers don't like to think that we're being tracked, but you already know that that's true, right? If you're looking at a website and then all of a sudden in your Google feed, there's advertisements for similar kinds of things. Or you could be, interacting with someone in a group about a particular objective, and then all of a sudden you're getting served ads for those particular things, right? This is what's been happening in the world of digital marketing for such a long time. And it's probably not going to change. The way it happens will change, but actually the objective or how that comes about probably won't. I digress. Traffic is when you click on an ad that takes someone off the Facebook platform, right? So it's like clicking on an ad and landing on a website. That is a traffic campaign. A video views campaign is more of a consideration or even an awareness campaign, where the objective is to get your video in front of people who are most inclined to watch your videos. And then engagement is about getting your content, which is brand awareness and consideration, in front of people who are most inclined to respond or engage with your content. So your brand awareness campaigns are objective that creates an interest in your products and services. Your consideration campaigns are objectives that get people to want to find out more about your businesses and your services. They're looking for the information, right? So they're looking for your websites and they're looking to find out more about you. And your conversion campaigns are the objective that encourage people who are interested in your business, so they already know you, to find out more about you and to purchase your products and services. In the old school, it's know, like, and trust, right? Know, that's about awareness. Like, that's about consideration. Trust is about conversions. These are the things that you've been hearing all this time, this marketing jargon, and it pretty much doesn't change. So let's have a look at what this looks like, right? So here's I'm going to have a quick look. This is a lead generation calculator. So let's say you're mortgage broker or you're a gym, right? Gym's easy for me, right? So let's say you're a gym and or you're a mortgage broker. Let's go gym, and your revenue target, for example, for the month might be $10,000, right? So if we put that in here, if every client, let's say every client is worth, say, $100 to you, it basically means that you're going to need to get 100 clients this month to hit your $10,000 client. Makes super easy sense, right? Now, for most gyms, they have two ways to get people into their facility. They might have like a phone call objective, and they might also have, and they make an appointment to book a tour, or they might even purchase online. So with this in here, what they're saying is, okay, well, let's say that we have people booking in for a tour and your lead conversion rate is, say, 10%, right? It would mean that you would need 1,000 leads to come through. Now, sadly, for most appointments and appointment booking organizations, the show rate is usually about 50%. So you can see here that as you start to play with the numbers, things change. So now if you've got a 50% no-show rate and a 10% conversion rate, you're going to need 2,000 leads through your funnels. Seems like a lot, but what if you could increase your conversion rate to, say, 50%? Now you only need 400 leads who have booked through your online funnels, and that feels a lot more doable, right? And then the last thing is you might have a special offer online. You might have, an opt-in, or you might do like a 7-day trial, and people are downloading a 7-day trial. And let's say your landing page, because it's going to people who already know you, it's got a conversion rate of 10%, right? So in here, what we're looking at is like, okay, you'll need 4,000 link clicks to your landing page. You're going to need 400 leads booked through your funnels. And if the estimated cost per click is $1, which depends where they are in the funnel, but this is what we're looking for, and the click-through rate is 1%, it means that you need to spend $4,000 to make your $10,000, which is not bad, because if you knew that for every $4,000 that you spent, you could make $10,000, you would do that, right? It's just about the number and reverse engineering it. So for my lead gen people, this is what you need to know about your numbers. How much do I need to spend? Well, if you have better percentages and you know your percentages, you'll be able to do this better. If your cost per click comes in at 50 cents rather than $1, let's just see what that looks like. Oh, right? Then your ad spend is only going to be 5,000, right? So this is how you understand what to spend. Let's have a look at another one, because my nerdy face likes it. This is for high ticket coaches and consultants. These are people who have a program that might be $2,000 or $3,000, right? Same sort of philosophy. Let's say our revenue target for this one is $10,000. And the average cost, let's say, is $1,500, right? So put actually it needs to be 2,000, right? So we want to have 5 sales in order to hit our 10,000. Doesn't seem too hard. Now, a high ticket item usually is done via a sales call. So if you have a sales call conversion rate of 50%, that would be considered really good, right? And you had a no-show cancellation rate of about 50%, because that's about normal too, then you would need to have 20 calls booked in order to get your 10 calls taken in order to hit your target number of 5. And then you can look at most coaches and consultants have some sort of lead magnet to book a call through to their conversion. And most of those lead magnets, a good one is probably optimizing it. A conversion is about 5% of everyone who attended. And let's say your registration page is converting at about 20%. So that means everyone who landed on your, let's say, webinar page, 20% of those actually opted in, and of the people who opted in, 5% of people booked a call. That would mean that you'd need to have 2,000 link clicks to your landing page in order to have 400 opt-ins, in order to have 20 calls, in order to have 10 actual calls, in order to book your 5, right? Now, what does that look like? Well, if your cost per click is $1, which is about industry standard, and your click-through rate is 1%, which is what you want it to be, then you'd need a target or a reach of 200,000 people, which would give you a cost per strategy call of $100. It would mean that if you spent, for every 2,000 you spent, you could make 10,000 in return. Seems all right. If you knew that you could spend 2 to make 10, you'd do that, right? Cool. And here's the last one. Let's have a quick look at this one, because it is your e-commerce calculator. So that I have a client at the moment, and they have a product, an album product, and their revenue target is $6,000 a month. Now, their product is actually $79. So for them to hit their target, they need to have 76 sales per month. Their website conversion rate sits at about 1.5%. Anything between 1.5 and 2 is considered good for e-commerce. So let's say sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, which means that they're going to need 5,000 link clicks. That's clicks going through to their page in order to hit that outcome. Now, at the moment, their click-through rate is really great, is at 2%, and their cost per click is around 50 cents, right? So in order to hit their targets, they're going to need to have a reach of, let's make that smaller, a reach of 230,000, and it seems like a lot of impressions, right? But actually, it's not too bad. When you look at their ad spend required, in order for them to hit their 6,000, they would need to spend 2,700. Their cost per acquisition would be $36, and that would give them a return on advertising spend of 2.19. So industry standard is probably about 3 to 4, and anything 5 and above is considered very good. So we'd probably want to do better on our targets in here, better on our conversions, and probably increase our average revenue. Because I know for this company, even though they have their albums at $79, the actual customer revenue, so the average revenue per sale, is more like $97. Now, if we put that in there, what you can see is they need 62 people now. It's brought all the numbers down substantially. And again, their cost per sale is 36, but their ROAS is 2.69 now. So what does that mean for you guys, right? How do you navigate this? Depending on your niche, whether you're looking for lead generation, whether you're a high ticket coach or a consultant, or like an e-commerce store or anything else, everything just comes down to the numbers. You see, life is simple, and so is marketing. If you knew the numbers, you'd be able to do the thing. It takes all the guesswork out of everything that you do. If you'd love more help with this, we can totally do that for you. This, sadly but excitingly, is our nerdy guilty pleasure. And we love to help people create campaigns that are going to convert. You can see here, even with like small campaign objectives and small goals, you do need to invest in order to return. If you don't have the investment, there are lots of other ways that you can at least get started in brand awareness funnels, but this is really the level of detail you need to go into if you really want your websites, your Shopify stores, your funnels to convert. So the easiest way to get hold of us is actually just to send us through an inquiry. I'll pop these details into the spreadsheet. But step number 1 for you guys is know your numbers. Step number 2, understand your objectives. Number 3, upskill to improve your margins. And then number 4 is set the budget that you need to generate the results that you're looking for. Hopefully this is super helpful for you. If there's anything that we can do to support, go ahead, click the button below. Let's get in contact. We'd love to see how we can navigate this thing with you and get you the results that you're after on Facebook. Have the best day.